RIP, of course, to D'Angelo. Recently passed away. Your man's was 51 years old. He was an emerging from this the new soul revolution of the 1990s. Pretty much can be considered one of the godfathers, if not the godfather of um, this new sound, this new soul, the resurgence of soul in 1995 with his 1995 project, um, debut project, and he is um, tragically missed. He died of cancer. What kind of cancer? I think it was pancreatic cancer. Um, he made, of course, a big splash with that Voodoo album, his second album from that track, the Untitled track, and it's interesting how that came about because he is very much a musician's musician, right? And I forgot who had that line. Was it Cole? I forgot. Maybe J. Cole had that line talking about even D'Angelo had to get naked to sell records, which he didn't have to, but kind of, so I guess sort of did because R&B and soul and stuff really took a hit around that time, and not a lot of people were checking for that. Hip hop was really on the rise and really up and coming. Alt rock was doing their thing, and he got pretty much half naked on well, you can't tell, but a little butt naked on the Untitled "How Does It Feel" video. And for him, he didn't like that because at the end of the day, he's actually a musician, and he regretted that he'd be at doing his shows, trying to sing some of the songs, some of his more introspective stuff. Some of his trying to look at these, look what I'm doing with these keys, right? Look what I'm doing with these vocal flourishes, and women are just yelling at him, "Hey, take your shirt off, take your shirt off." So you kind of feel really feel objectified, and I know that is usually the plight of a lot of women artists. A lot of women artists lean into that sort of thing, but it really kind of turned him off of the whole thing. That he had to do it for marketing purposes, but unfortunately, that was a little dark turn for him, thinking about becoming really disillusioned with the industry, because that took him a long time to even come out with another project. In 2014, he dropped Black Messiah, which I think is one of the top 10 greatest albums of the 21st century. It's a revolutionary album. It is an unconventional album specifically for him. But this is the time when, the I think that the Trayvon Martin era. This is the Michael Brown era, when these things were happening and police shootings and stuff was happening, and it's really he covers a lot of those kinds of topics on that album. I think I might just have to do a retrospective on that project next week, next recording, because that Black Messiah was that much. It's him in the Vanguard, right? It's D'Angelo in the Vanguard, and I think I might have to do a revisit on that joint. But even that one was just as dope. So he, nothing but classic records. From Brown Sugar was his debut album. I forgot what that title was before. But Black Messiah, I think I don't think I wouldn't say it's his best body of work, but I think it's an important body of work for the genre, and of course for the messaging, and knowing that D'Angelo is that cerebral type of musician type of artist. There was an article that was written up here from what is this, 12 on Your Side? It's a Virginia-based news agency. He's actually from the Richmond area, so.
On Tuesday, Richmond legend D'Angelo passed away at the age of 51, shocking fans and sparking conversation about pancreatic cancer.
What's troubling with pancreatic cancer is this. It's number 10 in terms of incidence, but in terms of cancer-related deaths, it's number 3.
Volsky said that pancreatic cancer deaths are expected to increase over the next 3 years, surpassing colorectal cancer for the second spot. He says symptoms often don't show up until it's too late. African Americans are seeing pancreatic cancer rates higher. Listen up, all my peoples out there. African Americans are seeing pancreatic cancer rates higher, and we already just just read that that symptoms don't often show up until it's too late. So what are you going to do about it, right? So these rates show up in African Americans over other racial and ethnic groups in the country, according to the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network. We're seeing a higher rate in African American men, and specifically with pancreatic cancer. African American men often present later, and if they're presenting later, they're less likely to be able to get that surgery that can make a big difference in overall survival. A similar trend is being seen in colorectal cancer, which took the life of Black Panther star, which hit me hard, Chadwick Boseman, in 2020. Studies from the American Cancer Society show that African Americans are 20% more likely to get colorectal cancer and 40% more likely to die from it. Now, they don't know exactly why, but there's a lot of correlation does not always equal causation.
Most solid tumors have the highest incidence in African American populations. So this is not new news.
But Dr. Kim Rhodes with the VCU Massey Comprehensive Cancer Center says the reasoning behind it isn't quite clear.
Mental and socioeconomic factors could be contributing, as well as access to care. If you got that access, if you have opportunities, you have insurance, if you live in a place that has private healthcare, private doctors, and you don't just have to rely on emergency rooms for your care. You should take advantage of this, especially when you're getting upper in age. And right now, a lot of these things, the timing for some of these preventative kind of checks and screenings and stuff are the ages of like mid 40s, right? They start maybe some stuff at 50, but for Black folks, for Black men particularly, it might have to be a little bit earlier. We might need to just say, hey, and advocate for yourself. Go to your doctor and be like, yo, I'm 35, I'm 38, or maybe okay, I'm 40, bump it, get it done right now. Let me get this happening. Let me get this happen. And right now I'm 43, so I'm coming up on that time when I need to get screening for some stuff. She says that I just want to be careful not to give the impression that because of the color of a person's skin, there is something baked into the DNA or genetics that would predict a higher incidence or rate of developing many of these solid tumors. While family history plays a factor, which I do have a history of cancer in my family, in both pancreatic and colon cancer, not either of those two, obesity and diabetes can also contribute. Obesity and diabetes, which, although it could be some genetic stuff happening there, we have some power to take some of that stuff into our own hands, watching our weight, watching what we eat, our diet and whatnot, watching how much we drink. Guilty, right? African American adults were 24% more likely to be diagnosed with diabetes and 28% more likely to be obese in 2024. Really? African American adults were 24% more likely to be diagnosed with diabetes and 28% more likely to, I did not realize that. That is is our diet that bad? 28% more for obesity and I get the diabetes. We hear that all the time with the we cheap processed foods that we have access to in most of our communities. The obesity too. That's a stunning thing. I'm gonna have to look more into that part. If we can tackle obesity at the pediatric age, teenagers, if we can prevent that, that would be huge. Volsky said. While there is no screening for pancreatic cancer, dang, that sucks. Doctors suggest getting a colonoscopy at age 45. People with increased risk should start earlier. You Black, you male, increased risk. You heard it here. Tell your professional, tell your doctor I said so. You heard it here on the Vibes, Challenge Day Vibes, that you're at more risk. It's 28% more likely that you get one of these cancers. So you're at higher risk. Happens to be that particular skin tone that you're wearing, go get checked out and advocate for yourself. Insist upon it. If you have a diagnosis, it doesn't mean a death sentence, but what it does mean is that you need to pursue the best possible course of care.